So as comments have been flowing into my videos at an exponential pace over the past couple of weeks, I've seen many requests to break down my investment portfolio in more detail. I did cover some of the basics when I broke down my net worth, but I wanted to take this time to break down my investment property portfolio into more detail. At the time of recording this video, I'm 27 years old, and over the past 3 years I've owned a total of 5 separate properties. I know this comes with a great amount of privilege, and I could not have done it all on my own. From the companies I've worked for, to my mentors, to my incredibly supportive family, and to all the additional resources I've taken advantage of, I know I would not be where I am today without all that support. So as I'm breaking these down, I don't want this to come off as a brag. One of my primary objectives with this channel is to create openness and transparency across every aspect of personal finance, and that most certainly includes my own personal finances. And my real estate deals have been a major part of that over these past few years. You should definitely make sure to give this video a like so that YouTube recommends it to more people. And remember, one of my first 10,000 subscribers will win $1,000, and I think we could honestly hit that number within the coming weeks, and that's because of all you amazing people. I'm beyond grateful for the support I've seen so far. 5 people will also win $100 each, and those winners will be announced within the first week of hitting 10,000 subscribers. So go ahead and hit that button. I'm thinking of you, the 75% of my viewers who are not already subscribed. But either way, you enjoying this video is what actually matters the most to me. So let's go ahead and jump into this thing. Fall 2018. I was a personal finance nerd just like the rest of the audience, but I was still in the midst of getting out of some really bad debt. My financial situation was a major struggle, like we've seen from many people in my financial audit series. And like many of them, I had a major income problem. I was living in my hometown of Kalamazoo, Michigan, and just scraping by with side hustles and part-time work while looking for that post-college job that I could sink my teeth into. Right around this time, one of my close friends was applying to jobs all over the country and actually ended up landing a sweet position down in Austin, Texas. Now, normally, this is where I would say, congratulations, and I'm excited to visit you in the future down in Austin. But Austin has a special place in my heart. All throughout late high school and college, I was addicted to watching a channel on YouTube called Rooster Teeth, and primarily their side channel called Let's Play, which was run by Achievement Hunter. I consumed all the content they put out no matter what. And in a lot of this content, they often talked about their day-to-day lives. Being based in Austin, I heard everything they were doing in the city. And as I fell in love with their content, I fell in love with the city from a distance. By 2018, for years previous, I just dreamed of moving down to Austin, though I never made an actual plan to do so. But obviously, things changed when my close friend got a job in Austin. We often played the new Forza game online and talked about his job during the first 2 weeks he was living in Austin. And knowing how much I would love to live there, he kept his ear to the ground looking for an opportunity for me. He was working at a tech company that was in a rapid growth phase, and it just so happened that they were looking to hire another person for the exact same position my friend was hired for. My friend handed my resume to the director of operations, and within a couple days, the dude reached out to me and essentially asked, "Do you like to make money? Do you want to come work here?" Of course, I said yes, which may have been the only word I got in during that whole conversation. But either way, within a week, I sold all my furniture, packed up everything else in my sedan, and made the 19-hour trek down to Austin to start my new life. This was the post-college opportunity I was waiting for, and I literally put 75% of my earnings to pay off those bad debts from before. Some private student loans, some credit cards that I was stupid with, and even some money I owed to the family. I grinded it out for 3 to 6 months as hard as I could, and I obliterated that debt. And now, it was time to look into the future. A dream of mine has been to own multiple cash-flowing rental properties that would cover the cost of living expenses in my life. Unlike most people in our culture, I would not have to stress every single day if I could pay next month's bills. So that's where I set my sights on: property. I figured it would make more sense to purchase a primary residence here in the Austin area first, and then start putting all my money aside, besides my 401k match, toward the purchase of my first rental property. So, I guess it was time to start saving. We're probably talking fall 2019 at this point. All bad debts are gone, and I'm just grinding it out day after day at the same company, which I will not name, as before. But of course, a fun little thing known as a global pandemic decides to happen just 6 months later. At this point, I had about $15,000 in cash saved up on the side, so I knew it was going to take about another 6 months before I could purchase a home with a minimum 10% down. Why 10% down? Because I am one of the most impatient people to ever exist on this planet. I would have waited to save the 20% to avoid mortgage insurance, but I suck at waiting. And in this case, it actually worked out for me. The country had been shut down for 6 months and I've been working from home just like many other people. And by August 2020, I had around $30,000 in cash saved up on the side, ready to put 10% down on a 3-bed, 2-bath primary residence within the Austin metro area. And I bring up the pandemic for a critical reason: the housing market. It was in a very interesting place at this time. It was gearing up to explode due to the people relocating for remote work and the supply chain being essentially non-existent. But in this exact moment, the market was still trying to figure out what the pandemic meant. Are we shut down forever? Is the world coming to an end? Or will we be getting back to normal soon? Because of this, it was only just starting to lean towards the seller's market, at least here in Austin. Working with my boy Philip Chang over at Austin Realty, shout out, after a few weeks of looking, putting down offers slightly over asking, and losing all of them, I finally had an offer accepted on a cute 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,540 square feet ranch-style home in the Austin suburb of Round Rock, Texas. I purchased this home for around $275,000 with 10% down. Next on my list was to save up 20% for a down payment on a rental property somewhere. But little did I know, it was time for the housing market to explode in a good way, at least for me. In just 6 months of purchasing that home, it went up about $100,000 in value just on paper. I started discussing what I should do next in this market with Philip, my realtor, and we ended up creating a few paths that I could pursue. 1, I could refinance with 20% down and use the rest of the cash towards my first rental property. 2, I could refinance with 20% down, move out, and put 10% down on a new primary residence and rent out my old place. And 3, I could sell the place, put 20% down on a new primary residence, and put the remainder towards a rental property purchase. Normally I'd go with number 2, refinance with 20% down, move out, and put 10% down on a new primary residence and rent out the old place. But in this insane market, I had no idea what the next month would even look like. And with the old place not being able to cash flow very well, I decided to go with number 3. Sell the place, put 20% down on a new primary residence, and put the remainder of the profits towards a rental property purchase somewhere else. So my realtor ended up getting 2 potential buyers to enter a bidding war, and after all taxes, commissions, and fees, I walked away with over $100,000 in my pocket. I entered into a $0 leaseback agreement with the new owners as I searched for my new primary residence. After about a month, I found a new but smaller 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,360 square feet home halfway closer to downtown in an area called Pioneer Crossing. And this is where I wanted to settle down for a while and purchase a few rental properties. After putting 20% down on this home at a purchase price of $375,000, I wanted to use the remainder of my profits and additional cash savings to purchase a rental property. Now this wasn't that much cash, and it certainly wasn't enough to put 20% down on a good cash flowing property in Austin. So what to do? My realtor and I discussed some connections he has with brokers/rental property management groups in Illinois and Alabama. He and some of his wealthier clients have used these brokerages and rental property management groups to purchase some much cheaper units in these states, and they've been cash flowing very, very well. So I started to work with the brokerage in Illinois. I laid out my criteria for them. What did I want to purchase? A property I could purchase at $90,000 with 20% down that cash flowed at a 12% cash-on-cash return each year. This means that after my down payment, all closing costs and fees, any rehab that's needed, after the 10% management fee, after my mortgage, property taxes, property insurance, and after 6% set aside each month for future maintenance and vacancies, I would be receiving a 12% cash return annually after all those expenses. Unfortunately, due to my lack of patience, which I've since learned to deal with, I rushed into a purchase of a 2-bedroom, 1-bath condo in the city of Morton, Illinois. It's really the condo association fees that ruin all the fun, but after putting $21,875 down on a purchase price of $87,500 with a 30-year fixed rate mortgage at 3.5%, which was actually appraised for $90,000, and after my total monthly payment of $430, condo association fees of $175 a month, and of course 10% for rental property management and 6% set aside each month, my cash flow with a monthly rent of $875 a month gave me a cash-on-cash return of 6.71% and generated only $1,601 a year in pure cash flow. This does not meet my criteria, and I've been pretty unhappy with this purchase, but my tenant just said she would be moving out when her lease is done in the next few months. And this place should easily rent for $950 a month given that there are next to no vacant units in the entire city. So this should provide 10 to 12% cash on cash return each year. So if you're keeping track, That was purchase number 3. So there's 2 more to go. What happened? So I guess this is where I decided that I wanted to put my personal day-to-day life over the endless worry of properties. Now, it's kind of silly because I'm just chilling at 26 years old, being very blessed with a great job and being the owner of 2 properties. But I hated where my primary residence was located in Austin. Don't get me wrong, it was a very nice neighborhood, pretty new and very clean, but it was a minimum 30-minute drive to anything I wanted to do. And I just hate sitting in my car every day, even just to go grab a bite to eat. I'm all about being able to walk outside my house and having an assortment of coffee shops and restaurants to choose from, endless dog parks to walk to, and seeing the life of the city exist around me. It really gives me a lot of energy day to day. So once my mind was set, there was no turning back. I wanted to buy a condo in downtown Austin. But what should I do? Save up to buy and rent my old place, or do what I did before? Well, here's the thing. With where this home was, it would essentially have to be rented to a family, and being a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,360 square foot, which was a very small house for the neighborhood, all market info I could collect suggested that the place wouldn't even come close to cash flowing with the market rents at the time. So I went ahead and sold. But even though we were in a very strong seller's market, literally nobody wanted to buy this house at the price we listed it for. Finally, after a couple weeks, one of the big companies with endless money came to the rescue. Open Door purchased it, and I walked away with all my initial cash plus an additional $20,000 in profits after all taxes, commissions, and fees. I got my condo, where I am right now in the fall of 2021 at a purchase price of $400,000 with 20% down on a 30-year fixed rate mortgage at 3%. And I love this place. 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, 800 square feet. Yeah, it's smaller, but it's all my dog and I need. And we walk down to the dog park on the river most days, and we're living our best lives. So now I guess it's time to combine my profits with the extra cash I've been saving on the side and buy rental property number 2. I was working with the same group out of Illinois, but after a few weeks of not seeing a single deal, I decided to expand my search. I decided to reach out to a brokerage rental property management group that I actually rented from when I lived in Kalamazoo. Immediately, they put 2 great deals in front of me, and I decided to purchase a 1,356 square foot, 3-bed, 1-bath home right across the street from Western Michigan University, where demand is always high. It appraised at $127,000, but I purchased it at $120,000 with $96,000 down on a 30-year fixed rate mortgage at 4.88%. This place rents for $1,250 a month, and after all expenses, it generates $271 in pure cash flow each month with an 11.61% cash-on-cash return annually. So where am I at today? I have 2 rental properties that generate $504 a month in cash flow. I want to get this to $2,000 a month to fully cover my mortgage on my condo. My first rental property is valued at $92,500, and I owe $64,579 on it. My second is valued at $127,000 still, and I owe $96,000 on it. My primary residence is worth $463,900, and I owe $322,518 on it. This means the total value of my portfolio is $683,400, and I have a leveraged position of $483,097 on it. My total equity position is $200,303 today, meaning that's what I would pocket if I were to sell it today, minus commissions and fees. I know many in the personal finance world are against leverage, but with the great interest rates that I'm locked in at today, I have no interest in paying them off early or selling them. I want to leverage even more properties and get my monthly cash flow to $2,000. That's my next goal. I'm actually looking to purchase a 3rd rental as we speak, but I'll have to tell you guys about that when it actually happens. Let me know what you think about my portfolio so far in the comments below. Give this video a like so that YouTube recommends it to more people. Subscribe and stick around for more. Thanks.